We did it. We are live. It's Georgia Morantos. Hello. Welcome to Live with Georgia Saturday night. I hope whoever was on earlier is here and can hear me. Let me know, please. We're having difficulty with the microphone, but I think it's working now. Just tapped it a few times and it went red. That often lets me know. Welcome. Tonight's show is the last show for 2020. I want to thank everybody who's been coming. It's been 6 months, believe it or not, and we have been reviewing the major arcana all the way from the beginning. Rebecca, hi. Oh, Louise, thanks so much for being here. I know. I needed to. Anybody who has downloaded the latest operating system, Catalan, might appreciate the difficulties I'm having, because if I don't switch my computer off at least once or twice a day, it just doesn't work. I have a lot of difficulty with Catalan. So maybe there are some other people out there, but it seems to happen every time I want to go live. I have to switch the whole thing off again. Not to worry. Here we are. Welcome. The last show, and we're reviewing the Tower card. So a really nice way to end off the year. I knew the Tower card was coming, and I really didn't want to be doing it next year. So I'm so happy that there's a show tonight and we could do the Tower card and kind of get it out of the way. We don't want any more Tower experiences next year. Oh, wonderful, Jennifer. Yes, thank you. So we're reviewing the Tower card. 100% of all proceeds tonight is going to go straight to our charity, the Irish Wheelchair Association, which I'm so happy to have been supporting the last couple of months. And I will be donating at the end of this month and making sure that I post on YouTube. On social media to let you all know how much we've gathered in our readings. And Shelley, hello. Oh, you donated, Shelley. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Wonderful. That's $10 going straight to the Irish Wheelchair Association. Let's jump straight in. Shelley's here. The next couple of weeks, I want everybody to enjoy their holidays. I'll be enjoying mine at home. I hope people have already been celebrating Hanukkah. And Christmas is coming up for those who are celebrating Kwanzaa. After that, lots of holidays, people taking time off. I know that my children have time off for 2.5 weeks, which is wonderful. And it's been snowing in New York City, so they're out there enjoying the snow. They're not tobogganing, they're sledding. I don't know, is a toboggan something that is that a name, an English name or an Australian name? In any case, that's what they've been doing. It's been lots of fun. We went out sledding yesterday, super fun, in Riverside Park. So I'm just going to take a moment to center myself and come in. Shelley, do you have a specific question? Let me know. Do you want a general reading? Is there something you want me to look at? I can do like a career, relationship. I know we've done a lot of looking at your baby, your book, and how it's coming along and how it's going. I'm very happy to look at anything. We can also look at, end of year wrap up. And Louise, thank you so much. Well, I'm going to start writing down. Here we go. I'm not sure how much time we have tonight. As soon as my family gets back, I might have to pop off. So we'll see if we get to past the 1 hour mark. All right, here we go. So we have Shelley and Louise. Wonderful. Just a general is good too. All right. So with a general, and I know in the most recent weeks I've been doing a general by doing the Central Celtic Cross. But what I'll just do a general past, present, future. And because we're coming to the end of the year, it will probably be looking ahead into the beginning of next year. So in the future position, we'll kind of get a feel for what 2021 brings, which is nice, right? Here we go. So I'm going to center myself a little. I always just take 3 deep breaths. Feel free to take some with me. And out. And in. And out. One more. And out. Three cards. Your past. Isn't this wonderful? It means something has ended. Either a kind of worrying has ended. It's like all these thoughts that you were holding on to with regards to something, right? Because before this card, you have 9 other cards. So there was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this is the 10, which means in the recent past, there was something that you really have come to an end of thinking. So there's been an ending of sorts, right? That has just come before you. And here, right now, you have one of my favorite cards, which is the Ace of Cups. And why do I love the Ace of Cups? I love the Ace of Cups because it's a heart opening. It's an opportunity. It's a yes. So right now, where you are right now, you're sitting in kind of like pregnant possibility. It's almost like, there is an abundance of, somehow the air is electric. This is what I'm experiencing as I'm feeling into this card for you, Shelley. So, right now, and it could be in relation to what's happening in the planetary astrology. I'm hoping one of our astrology people come in tonight. I know last week Laurie was here, Laurie Rafaloff, and she knows a lot about cosmic astrology. So do you keep in tune with Stephanie Azaria's astrology page? So for those who already know Stephanie, she has, I wonder if I'll put in her name and you can search her up. So I think we have the winter solstice coming up, and apparently this winter solstice, December 21st, is a very, very, very exciting time. I just feel that this card is indicating this lead up, and it's this week, isn't it? As it's happening this week. As we all know, there's Christmas coming up next Friday, but this week is kind of, there's like an electricity. Here we go. The new astrology feels good. The conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter and in Aquarius is very exciting. This is what this card is experiencing, because I keep focusing on these little yods that are floating in the sky, and they're almost like stars in the sky. And so I feel that there's an opportunity here for you to grasp as this astrological sort of event is happening, where you can harness the energy of this and bring it into you to experience more communion with the divine, right? So this is the picture of communion, the whole, this chalice which is being held up, and in the Christian tradition or in the Catholic tradition, you have the priest who holds the cup of wine, and there's the bread that's symbolized by this cracker, and it's the bread of it's meant to represent Jesus Christ, but it represents you taking something holy and putting it within. And so because it's within you, then it's without you. And so there's something very, very holy happening this month for you. This is a fantastic card. The spirit hand is coming out of the clouds, and it's offering you this experience. And so harness it, take it, use it, and project that into your new year so that you can manifest what you want. It's a very, very powerful card. And to come into your future position, Shelley, isn't this wonderful? What you've got now is a mirroring. Not only is there a hand, so this is the 4 of Cups, which I know you know because you read the tarot, right? So what we have is the currently, this is your present card, this is your future card. So in the present, what you have is being mirrored in your future. So you actually have a very clear path that which you want to manifest now is coming back to you. Do you see that? I mean, you can't make it up. This is true. So here it is with what you have, and you're being offered more. This is wonderful. I can only see these 2 cards together as your present and your future, because as we know, we manifest the future in the present moment with our thoughts, words, and actions. And the best place for us to be is in alignment with our inner source, with our inner sense of well-being, with our inner stillness, because from there, creation happens. And so what you've got is something really exciting. It's happening now, but most direct on Monday. That's why I can feel it, Shelley. That's really wonderful, right? So then harness this energy. Use the energy of this weekend, and certainly with this cup, if you want to bring out the Ace of Cups from your deck and put it on your fridge or have it up on your wall. And I just feel like there's, you've got 5 streams of water coming up out of here. It's almost like these 5 aspects of your life are just going to be overflowing. So there's abundance, and abundance not just of emotion. I feel like this is, these are the channels up and down your spine, the nadi channels. So as we practice meditation, and if we practice meditation under the guide of a proper teacher, and we're meant to be clearing these channels, right? These channels are meant to be clearing as we're doing the meditation, and that's definitely happening. So you're connecting much more powerfully, and in that way, you can manifest what you want better. So I'm just going to pull one more card out for the future so we can get a feel for what this card, look at that. This is wonderful. The 3 of Cups and the 4 of Cups. So just joy. So what we're projecting now into 2021 is this sense of joy, this sense of opportunity, this sense of manifesting your desires and them coming into manifestation, right? Thinking about what it is that you want and then projecting it into the future. These are the future cards. And here are the 3 Venuses, right? And they're celebrating, and that's you celebrating. That's you enjoying your abundance. So you can see all of the abundance. There's pumpkins and grapes and apples and all sorts of harvest surrounding these ladies as they're drinking in their cups. They're not drinking, they're actually celebrating with their cups in the air. Me too. One of my favorite cups. I mean, most of the cup cards are really wonderful. They're a reprieve after all this, the sword cards. And, these are a good ones. I only see in this card, the opportunity coming through in the mirroring of this Ace of Cups here. These 2 aces, and they're so close together. Here is the Ace of Cups coming to you, and here is the Ace of Cups where you are now. So absolutely wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yay. Thank you for being the first one. Let me see. I'll pick one more card up for the 2021 as we move in. Oh, such good cards. You got the Strength card, Shelley. And the Strength card, as we know, is a very strong sun card. It's a Leo sign. But what you have is this sense of being able to go within, to calm down that sense of, whatever's happening on the outside is going to be reflected on the inside. And if I go inside now to find my center, to find my absolute grounded space, because she's very grounded, and we don't know if she has bare feet. We can't see her feet, which is very interesting. But I always assume she's barefoot in this picture, that she's touching the ground, as is the lion, which is submitting to her, right? And so we're going in and we're calming down that inner lion, that inner wildness. And we're coming up to, the swords were about a neighbor. A neighbor had a breakdown, right? So, what I get with that neighbor is that it's under control now. There's a sense that they're either getting some therapy or something. They're getting some kind of treatment because the ship has come in. They might be taking some medicine, or there might be some help coming in. And I'm sending them love, sending them a prima agni right now. So this card is really, really promising. These 3 together are a wonderful manifestation wish and breath for the new year. So congratulations for manifesting that for yourself, Shelley, and thanks so much for asking a question. Tonight, all proceeds go to our Irish Wheelchair Association. I'm super, super happy to be doing that tonight. Great way to end off the year. And Louise is next. Thank you so much, Louise. And Kristen, thank you. I'll just put your name down so I don't forget that you are on my list. We've only got 2 more weeks till the end of the year, and I'm feeling very optimistic and very positive about the new year. And that feeling, that sensation, there's no sense of knowing. It's not like I know what's going to happen. I just feel the wave of feeling where everybody is looking to this year to, and if we're all thinking and feeling the same thing and feeling in the same way, then we're creating that together, right? That's the collective experience, and it can only be good. Look at that. So just as I was speaking about the collective experience, we're going to go from the stormy waters to the calmer waters. And that's really promising. I love seeing that. To me, that's what 2021 represents. It could be represented by this slow but good progress, right? Slow and steady movement from those stormy waters to the calmer waters. Absolutely love that. Louise says, yay, I feel hopeful too. Absolutely. Tapping into that. And I think because of the constellation, the astrology at the moment, and here we go. I'm just shuffling the cards up again. Louise, it's your turn. I think you said here can be anything that your guides want you to know. All right. So I'm just going to tap in. Going to choose one card for you. Oh, such a great card. The Star. Now, this is the card number 17. We spoke about the card number 13, which was the Devil. Number 14 was Temperance. Today, we're going to talk about the Tower, which is number 15. And this is 2 cards over, right? The Star, where we finally start to see some relief coming through. So the Star is all about taking what's happened, right? From obviously, because this card comes after quite a journey. Remember, before this card, you've had the Devil card, you've had Death card, you've had the Tower card. I mean, it's really been quite tumultuous. And once this card arrives, you get this sense of peace. You get this sense of belonging and a sense of balance. So what is she doing? She's naked, she's open, she's vulnerable, but she's completely confident. Here is a woman who is not ashamed. There's no sense of, she doesn't need to hide. There's a complete trust and oneness with the environment, with nature, and an understanding of doing what needs to be done. And so we're picking this card, in picking this card for you, Louise, this is what I feel the influence that you are coming under. The idea of the 8-pointed star, right? The 8-pointed star is not only is it the 4 directions, but it's the 4 directions in the middle of each of those 4 directions. So you get the number 8, which is a karmic number. It means that all the seeds that you have sown to get the healing that you have wanted, it's like this is a reward year. It feels like these are the rewards that are coming back to you now. So this card is about all of those things, plus the fact that you have generated a momentum around creating healing and more love for yourself. And what she's doing is she's balancing out the water between the lake or the pond and the earth, right? So we have all of the elements. I mean, the stars are fire, the water is here, the earth is here. They also represent space and ether. You have a bird in the background, the ibis, if I can get that into, right? And the Egyptian goddess and the Egyptian gods believe this bird to be a messenger, and all birds are messengers, right? We understand that because they fly so high, because they keep a very because their view of the world when they're flying is high up above, where we are, where we're close to the ground and kind of in the nitty-gritty of it. This is a reminder to keep your perspective very high and not to fall down into the nitty-gritty details, seeing the wood from the trees. So there's a message in there too about how to keep your perspective at all times very high, so that you're keeping yourself in a state of healing and in a state of wellness, which is what this card is all about. This card is all about bringing back a balance and a wellness and a health and well-being into your life. And it's because you've worked for it, the number 8, right? And it seems like it's simple, but it's a very deep card, and it's an influence that will go over many months. So it may have already been coming to you in some months, but it continues. Hi, Linda. Welcome. I'm going to add a couple of cards here because we can, right? 6:30. We've got some time. Oh, 2 major arcana, Louise. Fantastic. The Sun. Even better. So this is 17 and then the Sun. So the Sun talks about absolute joy and trust in that joy. I think sometimes we kind of, we've grown up and maybe we had other siblings, or maybe we had experiences at school where we were in joy and then we were knocked out of joy by somebody else's, interruption, or somebody else's interference, right? And what you're being asked to do is to, feel that interference and then be you anyway. I.e., if you're feeling joyful, don't let somebody else's non-joy destroy yours. So this is the card where, if we're looking into the next year for you, what you're looking at is having found this balance, because this is a very strong healing card, and then you here maintaining that in a very, so look at the sun. The sun you can't shake the sun. It's like we can't get rid of the sun. I mean, I'm not going to talk about science and whether one can. The sun is here, and the sun is strong, and the sun does what it does, and nobody's messing with the sun because of its fire, right? And so this is source, and this is integrity. So there's a lot of integrity in these cards. So once you are in your joy, really, it's not real joy if someone can take it away from you. So when you are in your joy, you are connected to the sun, which is your source energy. And when you're connected to sun and source energy, nobody can take joy away from you, right? I think that's the message. It started off a little jumbled, but the message is about connecting to source energy to be that source of joy for you, as opposed to having as we attach our joy to external things, the things that we buy, to the people that we love, to the relationships that we have, whether or not something is here or not, whether we lose something, whether we've had something. And our joy is always going up and down. But to have that steady, strong sun sense of joy is to be connected to source. And I see that happening for you, right? This is happening. These are fantastic cards. Well done, Louise. Yay! Jennifer, hello. These are great cards. I almost want to pick one more. Let's see. We'll pick one more. And these are all here, right? So these are very strong sun cards. You see the sunflowers in the Queen of Wands. The sun is very strong in the sun, and you have the stars. So this is not the sun and the moon, but the sun and the stars, right? So this is also that sense of the astrological events are also going to be very important, right? We can't ignore what's happening in the sky and in its relation to, what's happening and reflecting what's happening on Earth and in our bodies, right? So here we have the Queen. Now she's fully covered, right? And what's important to know about her is that the sunflowers, like the sunflowers here, the sunflowers, remember, point to the sun and get guidance from the sun. So this is about allowing your connection to source to guide you as you move through life, right? And these are the sunflowers. And the Queen of Wands is highly intuitive, very highly intuitive woman. And so she's the woman that you come to understand what to do. But she's also very, she doesn't look it, but she's facing you, right? She's a direct person. She doesn't mince her words. So there's a sense that in this directness, and actually that's a little bit like you, because I know you, right, Louise? So you can be very direct, and you don't waste your time, and you don't waste your words either. And that sense of being connected to sun, the source, and having that as your connection, and maintaining that this is from which it's almost like if you are going to have inspired action because you've surrendered to your connection with source, then you will have inspired word and inspired thought and inspired, interactions. That's what she says. She's like you, and coming out of this and having this and being almost like an improved, can you be better? This is like an improved, connected you, right? Even more intuitive than you are now with that sun energy. So very strong connection to the sun. So happy for you. Woohoo! Yippee for our friend. Woohoo! Oh, wonderful. Jennifer, thank you so much for paying for a reading. Woohoo! We've got 100% of the proceeds going to the Irish Wheelchair Association. I am going to be available for readings in the next couple of weeks, so feel free to contact me. I know the children are at home, but I'll be able to find some time where they're tucked away, sort of doing things, and feel free. If I do 30, 60, and 90-minute readings, and they're a bit like this, but just go on for longer. Do you love that, Charity, Jennifer? Awesome. Thank you so much. So the next person is Kristen. Kristen, here we go. Shelley says, yes, centering on love, Ace of Cups and strength. Fantastic cards tonight. I love it. Kristen says, I've just paid you for a reading. I might not be able to stay online during the whole show, but I'd love a reading for whatever spirit wants to communicate. I will check back and watch it later. Okay, Kristen, this one's for you. Here we go. The Wheel of Fortune. So this means change. Now, sometimes change can be a little kind of confused. So there are clouds around, right? Now, when we see clouds, we think spirit or we think thoughts, because we imagine that the mind is this big, empty space, which is filled up by these clouds that go passing by. And this is a little bit what it feels like. What I'm being drawn to are these angels. So there's a phoenix, a bird, a messenger holding a book. There is an angel holding a book. There's the ox and the lion holding books. And so these two represent the grounded earth angels, and these represent the sky angels or the heavenly angels. And what they're saying is they are guiding you, right? So you have guidance in every direction. But to be even more specific, when it feels like you're getting sort of clouded in your thought, it would be good to turn to the teachings, right? Or to look for guidance. So if you need to get guidance on a physical level, which is to kind of talk to a friend or talk to someone whom you trust to get this guidance, then get it. Okay, so because what's happening is that we're all on this wheel, this big Tibetan wheel of life. And as we go around this wheel, and I believe the Wheel of Fortune, is literally represents this. All of these are our chemical symbols, symbols of the Torah, the rotor. This is a rotating wheel. These are all our mercury, salts, mercury, salt, sulfur, and water. These are symbols here. But I really do feel like, because it's the wheel of change, you've got change in your life, and now what you want to do is you want to know whether your actions and your thoughts are taking you down the wheel, kind of into this very dark place, or whether your thoughts, words, and actions are taking you up the wheel into a much lighter and happier space, because the Sphinx is which is holding the truth. So this is a really interesting card, especially as I'm reading it for you, because what we've got is how to stay out of confusion and how to keep your mind going up into this space of the truth. So always keep your eye on the truth and keep that as the North Star. Your North Star is, what is the truth, right? What is the truth in every situation? Here we go. So what is the truth? There are going to be, this card is almost the one card that always says, okay, there's all these thoughts, all these worrying thoughts that I just don't want to think about. So what are those thoughts, right? Do we really want to think about them right now? Or can we just put them aside? So this person, the woman, is blindfolded and bound. She doesn't want to be thinking any of these thoughts, right? And she's away from the castle, so she's feeling lost. So when you're feeling like this, right, what you want to do is look for guidance. This card is telling us that we want to look for guidance. And where do we find it? Okay. We find it in, I mentioned these before, right? Again, so where there's confusion, we need to go through into and capture the clarity with that big sword that's on the Sphinx. We get our clarity and we move past confusion through truth. What is the truth in this moment? So you're being asked, Kristen, to focus on the truth and not listen to any of the worrying thoughts and all the other chatter, the mind chatter, right? So I see somebody helping you here, and this is, you getting, and this could be just someone that you already know who's going to help you, and it's very positive card. And your spirituality. So you see this card which has the beautiful lead light window in the church. I think that, either they're connected or it might be both. So there's the medical caduceus, which could be the medicine, and, someone in the medical world, or what you have also here is the stars. This represented by the tree of life representing us, man in living a spiritual life. So you want to connect spiritually as well as physically. And I really do feel, not maybe, but I believe that's why the Wheel of Fortune came with the balance of the spirit and the physical, right? We have to be in our body. We're here in this three-dimensional world, and what we're doing is we're learning about our spiritual laws so that we can have a better experience here in the three dimension, to not suffer, to relieve our suffering, and in that space of relieving our own suffering, we then relieve the suffering of others. I hope that's helpful. Kristen, I know you said you may have to go. Let me see if you're here. Oh, you're here. Okay, so let me know how that rings, because what I've got is I can pull one more card out. Or see, if you and I were in a reading together, what I would have already done is I would have said, well, how is that sitting with you? And can you relate to any of this? And if so, what questions do you have around that? Are we going to look at, well, is there anyone you're already sort of tapping into? What kind of guidance are you tapping into? Right? What kind of thoughts are you avoiding? Do we need to go down that path? Is that necessary? Sometimes not. Sometimes we're just reaching for that which we want, right? Which we already know is here, right? We already know that which you want is here. There's a very positive card, right? Moving into 2021. You've got the energy of the Emperor. So this is partner. And there being some release and relief around that. Right. And here is the Queen of Cups saying that there's, definitely when the Queen of Cups connects us to our emotions, and she's also the queen who is able to help us deal with our emotion around that. So I do feel like there'll be some relief and release around your partner. Right? So that's coming on your way, because I asked about 2021 there. So best of luck, best wishes. And, Linda, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll put you on my list. Jennifer. And did I put everyone down? And Linda. Superb. So 2021, baby. Woohoo. Oh yeah, it's so fast approaching. It's almost like once Christmas arrives at our doorstep, it's like bang, it's New Year's Eve. It's meant to be a week later, but it seems like we blink and it's here before we know. And we're taking a walk. Just a reminder for those of you who have paid to be on the Spirit Seance. I was going to email last week and I just didn't get around to it, but everybody will be included, and we're going to make our best effort to make sure that everybody gets a really good reading and that we also get some practice in. So that's going to be a very exciting time together on the Zoom for the Spirit Seance. So thank you to everyone who's a part of that. All the tickets have sold out, but I'll be having another one next year in February around Valentine's Day. So that's exciting too, something to look forward to in the new year. Woohoo! And this one is for Jennifer. Whoop, whoop. Like Louise, what does Spirit and my guides want me to know? Thank you so much, everyone, for participating and for buying a reading. All of the proceeds go to the Irish Wheelchair Association. This is really good. We're raising money for them tonight, which is great. It's my last show of the year. I'll be coming back on January 9th, which is super exciting. It's a few weeks away now. All right, so we're just going to center. What do Jennifer Anderson's guides want her to know? So, I'm usually, I close my eyes and I start to see things. I shuffle the cards, right? But look at the two cards that I picked up. I shuffled them. So I'm just going to tap into you, Jen, and I really feel like what's happening for you in this coming new year is you may because we've asked about a relationship, and this is the traditional relationship card, literally. If you want to begin a new relationship, and I know we've talked about relationship, but here is the relationship card, right? And there's almost like a very spiritual nature about this relationship. Now, this could be your spiritual relationship because these two cards came out together, right? I happened to be talking about them for someone else for another story, but for another reason, for another reading. But the way they come together now, they're telling a different story. What stands out here is this kind of divine union. And in this divine union is you with someone else. And I know that we had talked about a relationship, which is why I keep circling it. Now, is it that this new relationship is coming, or is this your relationship with yourself that is heightened, right? So this year, if I was to talk to you about this being your relationship with you, then it's almost like all of your ducks are in a row, right? Everything that you've needed to do to kind of really come into your sense of self-accomplishment, for everything that you wanted to achieve for yourself is coming into alignment, because this is a very aligned system. It's like, there's like a little bow at the top. Look at that. There's like a little bow at the top, and they're kind of nicely stacked together. Everything is here that needs to be here. They're all pointing upwards, and so I get this sense that you're aligning beautifully, and these two together are a kind of a spiritual alignment. And see this, the two snakes that are going up and around. It's like the Kundalini energy going up your system. So the meditation that you've been doing, which I know you've been doing, is going to be healing you, because this is a healing card as well, which is what we talked about with Kristen. But for you, in this if we're to take this spiritual relationship, right, let's not say it's a physical relationship, even though that the potential for that is here, because we have two people meeting in relationship, and this can be a relationship card, right? But we're now looking at it in terms of your relationship with you, right? Right now we're looking at it, your relationship with you, and in a minute I'll have a look to see if is there a knight on a galloping horse coming in. What we have is this sense of guided mastery. Okay, we have guided mastery coming through. It's almost like I'm getting these words. I guess either way, my path and spiritual orientation will always be number one. Yes, I would love to manifest a spiritual partner. I got your back, girl. Oh, that's beautiful. So what I'm going to do here is, you're wearing a wreath. Let's not forget that. So here you are wearing a wreath. Here is someone approaching with roses as a wreath, right? So there's a lot of passion here. And in this, if this is a mirroring, then that's the best situation possible, where you have someone who mirrors you in your capacity to self-reflect, in your capacity to be here in the present moment, your capacity for what you have to offer. So even in a relationship, in an external partnership, where it is the outside is mirroring the inside, and that's what we all want to achieve, i.e. that the more we work on ourselves and the more love we experience that becomes overflowing within us, we want to meet someone like that. We don't want to have to meet somebody with a half cup. We want full cups, right? So I'm going to pick one more card there. The one card will be about a physical relationship. So again, So I said, is this a physical relationship? Full cups, absolutely. A wreath, I prefer a ring. You're so funny. So what you've got is the 2 of coins. Yeah. And what he does is he amplifies the spiritual nature of these 2 cards, right? Of this number 2, because this is a 2 as well. So what you're doing is balancing. And so I'm going back to spiritual balance, balancing the inner with the outer, and seeing the growth within you and whatever mastery. I can't remember the words that came through, which were amazing. That sense of having come into your own and being able to see how far you've come, and seeing that everything is aligned. Things are aligned for you. And this infinity symbol. Do you see how this Sufi dancer, traditionally this 2 of coins is a Sufi dancer, and he's dancing. And as he's dancing and spinning, the center point, right? So although he's not, right, but we know that in order for you to spin, these Sufi dancers have to look at the one constant. They look at their thumb as they're moving around, and by keeping their one eye on that constant, they don't fall down. And so here is a little message in here, right, with this 2 of coins. The message is, if you maintain your eye on a constant, which is what is constant in our lives, it's the only constant is connection with source, right? Everything else is ever changing. And by keeping your eye on that constant, you don't ever become unstable, right? So here is the spiritual nature. So that's a message for 2021, if there was one, right? Keeping your eye. This is more teaching. This is the guru card. So I know that I suspect you're going to a workshop in January that'll be very highly spiritual. This is it. This is the Hierophant showing such. You in with the teacher and the master, and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so once that happens, there'll be massive changes in January for you, and we could go on. So when you have a year forward reading, if somebody was to come and say, hey, I want to look at my 2021 year ahead, we would literally do month by month. And as we're looking at those months, we're basically saying, well, what's the influence for January? What's the influence for February? And we pick your birthday in there, and we talk about some numerology, which I pulled from Major Arcana. I know so many Major Arcana today. Nobody's just dealing with the day to day. It's like full deep, core work. Well done, guys. Well done. These are my friends. You are all my friends. You see, we keep good company. We're all working on ourselves. It's just wonderful. And working. Mary, hello. How are you? We're working on ourselves, and we're loving each other along the way, supporting each other, and this is mirroring each other, and this is what we're meant to be doing. We're all just walking each other home. Isn't that what they say? I really love that saying. Linda, did we do one for you, Jen? So Jen's just saying everyone should have a year reading with me and a birthday reading, and the sacred private, sacred art pieces. Thank you so much. Here we go. Linda, I think, Linda, did you say you've paid for a card? If you have time, otherwise just a donation. The card for what next year brings. We have some time. I think my husband might be coming home with the children soon, but I want to pull out the tarot card and talk a little bit about it, because it has been a year of the Tower card. Linda, this is for you. Did we get this one for you last time? This card came out too. So these 2 cards for the year ahead, right? We've got a 4 and a 9. And what we've got, well, you've gone into hanging in for your reading. That's good. All right, here we go. We've started off. You're going into next year with this, this idea of, I find this a very balancing card. So the 4 of coins to me is about balance. So you're grounding yourself into the material world. Yeah. And you've got one on the crown and one in the heart. And you pull on that energy from your crown chakra and through your heart chakra. So this to me is about balancing and bringing the light down into and grounding all of the light, because a lot of us people who are working with energy healing and with, it's very easy to kind of start floating. And this is a very, very grounded card. So you've had a tough year. This is like a tough year, right? Where this person has got the bandage on their head and the bandage on their arm, or maybe just their shirt is loose. And going into 2021, it feels a little bit like this, right? But what we've got here is this sense of grounding all of the work that you've been doing on yourself, grounding. And I also feel like this has a little bit of a message of abundance, right? Because we've talked a lot about lack consciousness and, if not feeling like you don't have enough, but this is not that. I don't feel this is this. I feel like you're breaking out of that consciousness. And this, you see the way his arms are placed, they're like the peace symbol, the peace symbol with the black and white yin and yang. So there's a sense of yin and yangness around, and I feel your consciousness has shifted around abundance, and this is really good. So when you're physically tired, you take a break, right? So you're going to give yourself that break. Are you? Yes, you are. You're going to go to church. You're going to create time for yourself. What you're going to do is this card is a manifestation card. And I also love the fact that it's in a church. And I feel what you're going to do is you're going to create time for where you're being pulled on by other people. You're going to create time for yourself. And this is very important. Maybe we're looking ahead for 2021, right? So create those spaces of time where you're just giving to you and you're just creating, a more beautiful time for you, right? There's this beautiful flower that's happening in the middle. You've got the manifestation of 3. You're creating something beautiful for yourself, and that makes you feel less like this. And then this one, I'm just choosing a card. So yeah, you're gathering money. Look at this. So I feel like there's a harvest, right? It feels like maybe there's been, something has been growing, or maybe you've put money away and it's just multiplied, but it feels like there's money coming your way. Isn't that wonderful? What did you say? Linda said, I was just talking about wanting to do this for next year. We talked about abundance last time. Not church. Are you just talking about wanting to do the creative thing just about yourself? That's fantastic. Well, whatever you did with abundance, it's definitely changing. This is a real shift, right? So this is great going into next year and looking at abundance and looking at this big pile of money and abundance and what you've got, and even this other little one. It's like things are paying a dividend. It's like the interest, that you get from this savings. It's working. And I do feel like that yin and yang, that understanding as you give money out and as you let it go easily and effortlessly, it just comes back to you easily and effortlessly. And that there's this sense of, there's a cycle and, there's an effortlessness in money as it comes in and out, so that there's no attachment to it coming or going. That's what that feels like. And it's very grounding, having a very grounded approach to abundance. This is wonderful. One more card. How about love? We've done career. We've done self-love. This is for Linda. The Page of Wands. So young love. So there's some, something sprouting, an opportunity there. There's someone, in your experience, either they are now or, they're kind of something new. It's very exciting. I love the feather in his cap. It's very cute, very passionate guy. Yeah, love, she says. The Lover's card. Oh, this is great. So, the message from Spirit really came strongly about looking after yourself and giving back to yourself, right? And doing something creatively to give to yourself. But these are cards that are kind of falling out later about relationship. And these are really beautiful. So 2021 is looking up. Awesome. With a divine union. Okay, let's pull out the Tower card. Let's make some sense of this outrageous card. It is one of the toughest cards of the whole deck. I mean, we did talk about the devil, didn't we? The devil was pretty tough too. Although the devil can be fun, right? I mean, often we think we're having fun when we're kind of deep diving into pleasure. It's when pleasure kind of, and all those desires kind of grab us by the throat, and suddenly we realize we're in chains. We're chained to our desires. Here it is. So the good news about the Tower card is that at least you're being released and relieved from any delusions or illusions. This is the breakdown of illusion, right? This is when reality steps in, because you've got a fire coming down from the heavens, and it's a divine fire. It's a necessary fire. So what was there before was much like what's happened this year with COVID-19. So COVID-19, the 2020 is, and COVID-19 in 2020 is the Tower card. COVID-19 came in and said, I'm going to change the way things are done for a little bit, because Mother Nature needs a break, because of all these kind of, things that have at least improved a little bit during the early lockdown period, when there were pictures of there were no airplanes flying, there was no industry, so the air was clear, and the animals were coming out of the forests and coming into the cities, and there was you could see the Himalayas from miles and miles and miles away, whereas normally the sky is kind of foggy and smoggy, and so what we've got is the sense that even though this is a sense of destruction and decomposition, right? Everything that we thought, this is foundations are changing, foundations are broken. This is the story of the Tower of Babel, where, these people were building a tower and they wanted to reach the heavens, and they thought they were better than God. And God said, well, I'm going to get you all to speak different languages. And they started speaking gibberish to one another, and they didn't understand what they were doing. And the tower fell apart because nobody could communicate to one another. So in this, destruction and decomposition, this has to happen for something new to be created. And we've talked about the energy in that we're under now, and that's coming in this week, that's going to culminate on Monday, the 21st, the winter solstice, the 21st of December. So we've got some exciting things happening this week. The energy, these yods, right? Yod means God energy, right? It's a Hebrew word, and you only see these yods in the Ace of Cups. You see them in the Aces and a few other cards. And when they're present, they mean that spirit. This is an event, a spiritual event, right? And it can signify an awakening. The crown has cracked open, right? The mind the ego has gone, and when that happens, you have the potential for a true awakening. So that's the Tower, really, in one foul swoop. And we have this potential right now in 2020 to have this awakening. Are we taking the opportunity to awaken to reality? And how are we going to put that into action for ourselves and for others? And will we continue that into 2021? Right? Let's see. Let's ask. Let's pull a card for 2021, and then I'll finish. And then I'll finish up after that. That would make us an hour. Here we go. We're pulling a card for the Tower card, a partner for the Tower card. This is interesting, because this is traditionally the card that we talk about when someone's not telling the truth, right? So what we have to do coming into 2021 in order to awaken to ourselves, to the truth, is we need to find out what the truth is. We need to be really clear to ourselves what is true and what is not true, right? What is true and what is not true. And we need to put the truth into the ground. We need to ground the truth and make that what we travel with. So we're going to travel wherever we go in life, and whatever life brings us, we have to hold firm to the truth, and the truth of understanding who we are, understanding how we want to be. So this is a really really powerful card, because you can think of this as fake news. You can think of this as, falsehoods, false beliefs. How are we lying to ourselves? Can we wake up to how we tell ourselves lies, right? Are we holding thoughts that are no good for us? And how do we know that how do we know when we're holding thoughts that are not good for us? I believe that our feelings are the indicators, because if we're feeling off, if we're feeling in a negative state, then we have to look at our thoughts. We have to look at our beliefs in order to feel better, right? Is this idea or this belief or this story that I'm telling, how does that make me feel? And so this is what this card is about. We're going to be examining this part of ourselves, and we're going to be starting anew. We're going to get rid of the old foundation and come into a connection to truth, sticking those two big truth. This is the truth, and it's like a flagpole at the top of the mountain, right? You put the flag and you say, the truth is here. And that's what this 2021 is going to be about, at least for those of us who are watching and listening. And I'm certainly going to be thinking about this coming into 2021. What is the truth? If I say I'm going to do something, I have to do it. I've talked about with some friends, there was 21 days to the end of the year, and I really want to make use of this very fertile last December with all of these astrological events. And, and I haven't been able to keep up with what it was that I'd set for myself. But can I do enough? Can it just be good enough? Can you get over that line of, yes, I'm satisfied with what I've done? And as we come to the end of the year, maybe that's what we're meant to be looking at. Am I satisfied with what I've done so far? And what can I do better? How can I love more? Love more. How can I love more? I feel that's what it's all about. Love more, love deeper. Yeah. So that we're not in this state of nightmare. If we release all these worrying thoughts, then we can be successful. Can I be successful anyway? Can I? Look at all these thought cards coming out. It just continues. The cause of suffering is the mind, right? And release from the mind's grasp on us is liberation. That's what judgment is, absolute liberation. So in order for us to achieve that success that we want for ourselves, we have to liberate ourselves from all these negative thoughts and beliefs. How can I love more? Love is the common language. The sword of truth, baby. Thank you very much, everyone who has been here tonight. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for contributing, buying a reading from me tonight, because 100% of the proceeds go to the Irish Wheelchair Association. We haven't chosen one for the next month, but we'll do that in January. And so I look forward to seeing all of you again in January. On January 9th is my next show, and I'll be making sure to let everyone know about it. I might even make a little video. Thank you so much for supporting me this year. Everybody here has been an absolute true support. I really, really appreciate it. I just need to know from my heart to yours, thank you so much for supporting me with Live with Georgia. And I can't wait to see you all next year. I wish everybody the happiest of holidays and a bright and wonderful, joyous new year. Good night. Bye, everyone.